Yeah.
That.
Bam, we're live. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
I gotta high five it.
Damn, that's a fucking strong high five.
There we go.
What's up? What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It is Tuesday, which means one thing. It is Cigar Talk live here at Industrial Cigar Company in Frisco, Texas. Merry Christmas to all you bitches. We've got the fireplace above us, and we've got you on the other side of the lens. And we have an esteemed guest this evening who we go way back, like 5-8 minutes now.
8-9 minutes.
We have an esteemed guest, and for those of you who are joining him for the first time, this is our chance to smoke cigars with you beautiful people on the other side of the lens, and also you beautiful people out here. I'm talking to you, Baptiste. I'm talking to you, AJ. Josh Sims, what's up? And
there's a lot of beauty right here, just male beauty.
There is a lot of something, a lot of meat, a lot of meat over there.
Yeah. There's a lot of meat.
Whole lot of damn facial hair, that's for sure.
Yeah. To my left side, we have a first-time guest and a first-timer in the lounge, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is Bull. Bull, welcome to the family.
Thank you.
Will you give us your life story in 90 seconds?
Sure. Yeah, so I stopped doing porn about... I'm just kidding.
Okay, you get the show.
Actually, originally Houston, Texas, born and raised. Although I was actually born in Chicago, I don't tell people that. I got to Texas as quick as I could.
Good.
Ever since then, I've been chasing goals, and over the last 8 years, been reaching them. Achieved 3 world records in raw deadlift. Just won the Olympia last Friday in Las Vegas, Olympia Pro.
Nice.
And going to Iron Wars, California here in 3 weeks. Planning on pulling even more weight, putting on a hell of a show. Follow me at Mr. Bull NTX on Instagram. And feel free to talk all the shit you want. I'm ready.
Nice.
Bring it. That is a challenge to everyone. Damn. Congratulations, man.
That's
Congratulations.
Awesome.
That is
That is
incredible. What do you got to compete with that,
I
Adrian?
got nothing. I mean, show's over.
Yeah. Well, we got 120 proof in the
That's right.
glass. Cheers.
So, guys, cheers.
I pulled a goddamn hammy
There
ball.
you go.
Just
Yeah,
what he
exactly.
did.
Yeah.
Cheers to y'all hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate it.
And Merry Christmas week here at ICC and out there in Wonderland.
Well,
I
we've
need to pull
got
up
Georgia in, we've got East Texas in, we've got Missouri in. Go ahead, hit that like, comment, share, and don't forget to comment. Talk shit to Mr. Bull here. And let us know if it's loud in here and you catch a lot of background noise. Don't worry. It's the lounge is busy because you're not in here, but everyone else is.
Yeah. And for those of you that are out there, there wouldn't be a seat for you in here if you were here.
That's cool.
I see one. There's one seat in there.
One seat.
One seat.
But we got people in standing room only back there.
So, Bull, if I may call you Bull instead
Yes,
of
sir.
Mr. Bull.
Absolutely.
You said you have a world record?
I got I broke the world record total 4 times now. This past competition, I pulled a PR at 755 pounds raw deadlift on the stage at the IPL Olympia in Vegas, and looking to continue on. 42 years old, hoping that doesn't quit anytime soon. But just staying as consistent as possible, staying healthy, and even more importantly, just doing my best to be a good man and a good father.
Damn.
Nice.
Damn, this guy sounds like a Texan, doesn't he?
Yep.
He does. He does.
I mean, just lifting the world and still wanting to be a good dad.
I would like to. It's funny. You guys had a little weightlifting challenge when you were in school. One of my sons. I have twins. He's the small one. I have twins.
You couldn't tell by a
You
jacket.
couldn't tell. You're just fucking enormous. But there was a high school down here that was recruiting them to play football in a private school. They were back in Nebraska. So they were talking about this. What was it? It was bench, squat, and deadlift or something. And they had like the 1,000 club, 1,000-pound club. So these dipshits all jump in the car and they head to the gym, and they were putting up like 1,200, 1,400, and 1,600 pounds in these things. But
Wait,
Nate
I don't think any of us hit 1,600 though.
Well, Nate is he's just got that retard strength. I mean, basically,
that's definitely getting picked up.
Well,
look at
my
Josh
kid,
Sims
so
over
I
here.
can
though.
say it. My
He is
child,
very strong.
He has got gorilla strength. Let's just put it that way. But I think he deadlifted over 6 in college, but he was a thrower, shot put and discus and hammer and stuff.
in terrible form.
Terrible.
I mean, terrible young man form, just raw brute strength.
Just-
He was shot put discus. That dude could throw some weight. I could tell you
Throw
that.
some freaking.
I tell you what, something I've learned about powerlifting, bodybuilding, all that stuff. You know, some of the greatest. A lot of people talk about form and all that stuff, but some of the greatest people out there, Ronnie was very disciplined, but Branch Warren, there's a lot of bodybuilders out there that are the greatest at what they do, biggest at what they do. A lot of powerlifters that are the greatest at what they do, and the form shit. You know, so I have a ton of haters out there that talk about my form, and you know the facts are the
But your
facts.
shit's still off the ground.
I do it, you know. You don't. You know, you keep lifting what you lift. You do it your way. I'm gonna do it my way, and that's the same way the pros go. And that's I've learned from the greatest. I'm grateful for that. But you know, the fact is you get it and you lift it and you get it done. That's how it works.
That's
a win
it.
is a win.
That's
So
it.
how many hours a day are you spending in the gym?
4 days a week. 4 days a week. Peak training. I'm in there. I try to get in and get out as quick as possible. But just before I went to Europe and competed in Barcelona with Baptiste, praise God for that opportunity. I was just the first exercise. I calculated after I carry the weight, put the weight on, do the reps, and unload the weight. It was something like 18,000 pounds I had moved. If you
Goddamn.
count it. That's the first exercise. So the answer to your question is as long as it takes. But I'm trying to get it done as quick as possible. And on peak days, we're talking an hour and a half to 3 hours, just depending on how much I can take and how quick I can get it done.
Man.
Whoa.
Yep.
One question that I had for Baptiste last week was how much of you said you're 42 years old and you're lifting cars. How much of your time is dedicated to lifting versus how much of your time is dedicated towards active recovery or any sort of recovery?
I spend more time by far, and I've learned that at my age. I'm 42 years old. I became a pro 6 years ago. I actually tell people now, I spend more time in recovery, probably 3 times the amount of time recovering than I do, training. Now I also consider, physical therapy. I consider, hot and cold therapy, deep tissue massage, and of course sleep. You have to rest.
Mm-hmm.
Your body just can't keep up with it. So actually, it's a lifestyle. And being a father, owning a few businesses and working is hard enough, but you have to, Mike Tyson said you have to have the will to win. You have to be willing to do anything that you can to win. And I'm still learning, but recovery, it's more important than training. I want to be able to do this a long time, and not only that, but after I'm done, I want to have a good life. So more time with recovery is the answer to that question.
Well, we've been in here just a handful of moments, and I just feel like this is maybe the right time, and we haven't done this for a while. But I think we should hop into the judgment zone here. And
Really?
Come on
I
with
think we just need to get to know Bull.
Wow. We got to get to know
Yes,
Bull.
steroids
That's
shrink
true.
your balls.
It's been a while.
Yes.
No, that's
I like
you think
it.
that's where we're going, but we're going to judge you way
Come
harder than on steroids.
I'm not afraid.
And I know that the viewers out there are excited.
Hit comment. Where do you guys
That
think
are
he's going to
so
sit?
excited about the big 3.
These are the big 3 questions. They're character judging questions. We haven't done this for
It's been a while.
months.
Yeah.
Come on
right?
with it.
And this is a chance for those individuals who are out there watching to just judge the hell out of you. And all of these questions are going to be given on a 0 to 10. 0 is hell no, 10 is absolutely no question, and 5 doesn't exist. We'll ask these questions, and then we're just going to judge you before you get a chance to answer.
So I got to answer on. Do the scale again?
Yeah, so it's 0 to 10. Adrian is 0 on everything.
Yep.
10 is absolutely 100% believe it. 5s don't exist.
Okay.
Look at Baptiste.
Yeah,
Look at Baptiste. What are you thinking already? I'm not judging this. He was powerlifting, not power punching. Yes. Okay, so the first question, Adrian, will you take the honors, please?
Yeah.
And now you can't answer the question. We have to judge you first
Yeah.
Oh,
on what
okay.
we think you're going to
I
say.
got you.
Yeah.
This based on the 11 minutes that we've known him too, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
This would be good.
For sure, yeah. So first question, Bull. He goes by many different names throughout the world. Here in the States, we call him Bigfoot. And we needed to, when Baptiste was on the show, we needed to kind of
translate
We
it.
had to get him the
translate
French
like with
version.
Yeti, right? You know, different names, but here, you know what Bigfoot is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So we'll judge you first. We'll let some of our viewers kind of judge you as well.
Where do you think Bull is at on believing if Bigfoot is real?
I'll go
We got a
first.
2. Where do you think he is? We're at 2.
I'm
Baptiste is
going to
thinking.
use this to
AJ,
help me weigh where he's
we got
going
a
to come in
0.
on the others.
Yeah.
But he's from Houston.
Yeah.
I think that if he did see Bigfoot, he would be the guy to charge him, take him down, drag his ass to the car,
Yeah.
take him into town.
Yeah.
show
Fucking.
him
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 7.
Yeah, he's going
And now
plus
it's the
5.
internet, so you got to tell the truth. But
Okay.
I'm going hard 7 because it's going to help me in the future.
I think he's a plus 5. I'm going plus 5. I'll ride with you at a 7.
I'll go with Josh and 2.
Bull, where are you at? William Treadway says you're an 8. We got a 2 out here.
So you're saying that you're asking, do I believe he exists? But
Yep.
I gotta answer it on the scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 does not exist.
Yeah, you got
I'm
to
gonna
be
say
committed.
I'm gonna say 5.
It doesn't
God
exist.
damn
It doesn't
He had
exist.
one job. He dropped a weight on his head.
Oh, 5. You're saying 5.
Five
doesn't
doesn't
exist.
You can't be
Yeah.
in the middle.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You got
I
to get on
like
one
that.
side of the fence or the other side.
I
of the
like
fence.
that.
And a 10 is he's definitely real.
Tanny had lunch with him earlier this afternoon.
I'll say 6. I'll say
shit.
6.
Yes.
That's what I'm
I'll
talking
say
about.
6. And I say, can I further my answer?
Please.
Yeah,
I say
please.
6 because does he exist? Is he some creature? I don't. I think it's a hoax. You know, that's my opinion. You know, is there a possibility that that's some big hairy dude that wants to dress up like him? Absolutely.
And
But
wants to get shot?
seriously, yeah, I don't believe.
I just don't think
I
they
don't
wanna
believe
get
there's
shot.
a Sasquatch walking around terrorizing the.
So does that mean you're Jesus Christ? You are fucking made out of rock or steel or something, man? Like bumping into a wall over here.
So I'll say 6. I'll say I don't believe
So
it's some
you
mythical creature.
hold it. So you're more apt to believe that he does exist, or less apt to believe that he exists?
As an actual mythical creature, that this is his genetics, he's one out there. Maybe there's a few of them out there. Absolutely not. I think it's somebody dressed up as Bigfoot.
So he's got to go. He's going to be closer to you.
That's a 2.
He's closer to you.
closer to you.
He's closer to you. Damn it,
Yeah.
man! I thought
Does
we
he-
had him.
Is it conceivable that he exists? Do you believe the videos? Do you believe them?
Nobody believes the videos.
I'm a believer.
Oh, you are a believer
believer.
because of the videos.
I saw it on television,
Yeah.
and if it's on
Yeah.
television, it means it's been on the internet.
That's true.
Therefore,
Yeah.
it's true.
That's true.
All right.
Because a lot of the videos came from the internet.
He's a plus 5. I started plus 5 until we
You did.
spoke about this. I'm a minus 5 on this one. This is a no good. All right, so that's it. Let's move to the second question where we can
come on,
judge him.
Willie.
Yeah. Second question. They get more difficult. This is a two-parter. UFOs. Do they exist? And part number 2, have they been here on Earth and are they amongst us? So, Adrian, where do you land on now that we've got 15
Judging
minutes
our
with
esteemed
Bull?
guest. For those of you who are watching, please judge with a 0 to 10
Yeah.
on where you think Bull sits on this spectrum.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my same and stay with a 2.
You know what? Do you have all sisters?
Yes, I do.
You have all sisters, don't you?
Yeah.
You grew up with sisters.
Yeah.
You know how women think they can fix all men? We talked about this last week, right, Baptiste? He's trying to bring them all down to his level. That's what it is.
Okay.
You're trying
That's
to
what
fix
it
them.
is. Yeah.
All right, so you're a 2
I'm
again?
a 2. Yeah.
See, I think he's an intelligent guy. I think he's going to go plus 5, plus 5.
I think he's on the believes that they're there. He's going to look at the size of the universe and he's going to say, we can't be the only one. So I think he's very logical.
Yes.
Do they exist? Now, if you believe, I believe all redheaded women are aliens. I just, the day somebody can prove me wrong on
All
that,
women,
I'm
aren't
here.
they? All women.
See, that just expanded the universe of
They're here to
potential
destroy us.
aliens. So I'm gonna go. I'm going 8 that he believes that we're not the only ones that they're out there, and I'm gonna go 3. But I have a feeling he's ran into a redhead or two that he
Where
probably.
you at? Where do you
will.
think he's at, AJ? Where do you think he's at?
I want to know where Baptiste was at last week.
Baptiste. This guy's a non-believer in anything.
This guy doesn't
We
believe
had that
anything.
conversation.
The dude's
Yeah.
from France. I mean, he
Yeah, but that's where the Coneheads were from, too.
that's true. Coneheads were from France.
We are from France.
Oh, you got a 10-second delay. We got to get that speaker out here so we can pipe you in.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Where you sit?
9.
Yes.
9.
9 on both?
9 on both.
9 on, you said UFOs.
Do they exist?
Okay.
Are
9.
they here or have they been
Have
here?
they been here?
9.
Whoa.
You want my answer on why?
Yes.
All right.
He got
God, I
probed.
hope
So,
he's
so
solid.
you,
He got
you
probed.
specifically said UFOs. You know, people say, is that aliens or is that UFOs? Now, I think UFOs exist. I believe it was last year, maybe a year and a half ago, Pentagon released some files, and it was, some of their pilots trying to catch them.
Yeah.
I saw the videos. What is it? I have no idea. Do I know that there's also, commercial airline pilots that have confirmed that they've seen UFOs? I seriously believe they're UFOs. Is that government? Is that other governments? Is there technology out there that we don't know about? It's very possible. Is it from another world? It's very possible. Out there in the universe, is it possible? Absolutely. But I will go in a little depth, and y'all listen up because this may sound crazy. But hey, look, man, I seriously believe that could be, something spiritual. There was all kinds of different, and I'm a strong, devoted Christian, believe in Christ, giving my life to Christ. I'm grateful for that. But I also believe that, angels and demons exist. Is that just some spiritual world that we don't understand, that we can't see, or is that some advanced, civilization in the heavens? We're reading a book from a long time ago. Is it a possibility that these life forms are angels and demons? And it's a possibility. But
Well, so many of if you go look back at all this, the ancients, where they were looking, everyone was looking up at the gods.
exactly.
And so many of the things that they idolize kind of have this awkward shape to them, helmets, things like that. Back when you're talking about, when they're building pyramids.
Yeah.
And it is, I don't know, seems like there's a lot of things that flew in on fiery chariots that people are praying to.
Do I believe UFOs exist? 100%. I seen the same stuff that y'all seen. I don't think it's coming from the government. Stuff that Pentagon released. I don't think it's BS. I've seen a few things out there growing up. In the rice fields in Katy. I don't know what it was, but it didn't move like anything I've ever seen. Now, could that possibly be government technology? Absolutely. Look at the stealth fighter. Before the stealth fighter come out,
right?
We didn't know that something could fly around, not be visible on radar. But the mobility and the capability of what you see on these tapes is just it could be anything.
And I'll tell you what's crazy to me is that it wasn't until 2020 that we actually put a man on the deepest parts of the ocean.
That is exactly what I was going
2020.
Yep.
2020. That they had built a device that would allow a man to go down to the deepest. And there were parts that they were 2,000 and 3,000 feet below what they thought the bottom was.
Yeah.
And this thing continued to drop and continue to drop. So, to me, I don't know what percentage of the earth is covered with water, it seems like a hell of a place to hide out.
Oh yeah.
It would be a great place. Well,
we're finding new forms of life in the rainforest. We're finding new forms of life in the ocean. We'll just say there is another forms of life. They found amoeba or whatever on the rocks on the moon. Is there possible there could be life out there? Absolutely. Do we have confirmation of it? Not at this point. But do I believe that the UFOs exist? I do.
I think that shortcuts our third question too.
Yeah, it
I
really
mean, that
does.
pretty much. That's pretty easy.
There's one other thing. I watch about how this concept of if they do exist, where water would become part of their deal, and if you think about it, we spent our first 9 months of our life in water. And we're completely submerged in water. Now we would drown in it if we're out of it. But isn't it amazing that we survive in it? And it's so to think that something could survive underwater, it's not that bizarre.
Oh yeah.
Especially if it doesn't need oxygen.
Oh yeah.
Good point. Are you trying to sway my zero?
He's
The day I get you off a 0 is the day I kiss your ass in public.
I think that's the day. Get your ass out, because it
get your
sounds like
ass
you're a
out.
1.
Maybe a 1, yeah.
I think you might have bumped him to a 1. Get your ass over here.
Literally.
That shortcuts so quickly our third question, and I actually want to just hop into assuming that you're a 10 on it, which is ghosts and spirits. But importantly, let's hop into spirits, because I think that can drop into the question of the what if, and maybe tie in the second and the third question. Is it safe to assume that you're a 10 in do spirits exist? And if not, if you're swayed on a 10, then we'll just continue to judge you and then hop back to it.
Is that you want my number now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 10.
Okay, good.
Like I said, I believe in angels and demons. I believe in I definitely believe in the Holy Spirit. So yeah, I'm gonna say 10 on that. So that was an easy answer.
But the what if is always what's really interesting. It kind of ties us into the 2 and 3, the aliens and spirits, right?
Yeah.
Like the what if, the engineering, right? The genetic engineering, like seeding this earth.
Yeah.
And you watch, if we were to seed anywhere with anything, it covers, maybe it covers a petri dish with moss. But then if there are anomalies and things happening, you come in and check in on it, right?
Oh yeah.
And you see all these sightings around nuclear test sites, and that's when it starts speeding up, when there's nuclear tests.
Oh yeah.
What if it exists, and what if it's all tied together?
Yeah.
Have you guys thought about that? And what's your take if you've thought about maybe are those interconnected? And by the way, Pops is a huge subscriber on Ancient Aliens Patreon page. Make sure you go and donate to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think on that?
Well, they do have pretty compelling arguments, but no, and I think from a spirit standpoint, I think we've all had to deal with death, and every time that I've had somebody close to me pass, they come to me in one form or another. Am I willing that to happen in my brain, or is something coming to me?
Right.
I don't know.
I'm good.
But when you start thinking about the
Merry
concept
Christmas,
of
Chris.
ghosts and physically making themselves visible, is that something that you would go 1 to 10 on?
As far as spirits or aliens, or
No, as far as ghosts.
as far as ghosts,
So there's spirits and there's ghosts. Ghosts would be something that
Physical.
we physically see. We see a shadow. We see a door close. We see something weird happens in the house. You're like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Nobody else is here, type of thing.
yeah, I think when it comes, if you're, from a spiritual perspective, I think, it's coming. It's coming in Revelation. Is that going to happen? Absolutely. Is that angels or demons? I think you just need to refer to the book, when that time comes. Do I believe that there's, our relatives or, just people haunting us here on earth? No. I believe that is probably a bit of evil. A book tells me that that's, that the devil's trying to persuade us to do it, what he wants to do because he knows what's coming. And I seriously believe that that's what that is. Praise God, a lady took me in when I was a kid, and she taught me, I don't know everything about the Bible, but I do know a lot about spirituality, and I do know a lot about Christ. And I can tell you that she told me, she said a lot of that's evil, and yes, it's here, and you have to be aware of it, and you have to constantly keep faith in God and communication with God, or that will overtake you. And is it a ghost? No, I think it's evil, and I think the temptation is there, and I really think that that's what that is. Now in the same aspect, I believe that the Holy Spirit's here, and I believe the angels here to guide you, and you have to pray for. I don't mean to get too holy roly.
No, roll it.
But that's my belief. Does that exist? Absolutely. Does the evil exist in this world? Absolutely. If you don't believe the evil exists, look around you. Look around at the temptation that you're getting every day. And I tell you what, you want to see more temptation, try to turn your life over to God. Try to do good. I do charity. I always do charity for every one of my events. And I'll tell you what, I'm the most aggressive raw deadlifter in the world. Mark my words. Somebody come on this podcast and tell me I'm not. But I'm also, you look at the profile, first thing it says is a man of God. Now, I'll tell you what, I'll go get 30,000 views on a video of me busting my head against a wall and deadlifting 1,150 pounds off blocks. People go crazy over it. Everybody talk trash. But I'll put on there a link and go see how many people actually contribute to it. Now, there are some wonderful people that contribute to these things, but what world are we living in? what world are we living in that you're going to see me busting my head against a wall, and then you get on there and talk a bunch of trash? That's why it's popular. People are only amused by the evil in the world. And I want to say it's evil. That's the way I live. Praise God for the ability to lift the weight I do. I do what I got to do to lift it. But I tell you, I try to use my talent to give back. You know, Brian Dobson, Metroflex Gym, encouraged me to do that when he encouraged me to do my first meet. I had no idea I was one of the strongest deadlifters in the world at the time in my class. And he told me, I said, man, I don't want to compete. I'm not into that. He said, well, if you don't, just do it for charity. I've been doing that ever since. I'm grateful for the following I have. I'm grateful for the ability that I have. But the evil is definitely prevalent in this world. If you look around, you see that.
Let's hop in. Let's grab the shovel here for a second. I think it sounds like, Bull, you've lived some life.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like maybe there are some elements where you've reached out and reached out to God for some inspiration, maybe every day, maybe everything you do. But here's maybe a unique bit of conversation that maybe we can hop into. It might be a controversial question, but where do you think religion, not God, where do you think religion misses for the people that I think we can all agree that our world that we look around is getting further away from religion? Where do you think it misses to create a void in people's lives, whereas they start looking at other places as their God?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? And maybe that's a bad question. I don't know, but it's something I ask myself.
Everywhere. It's man, I tell you, I mean, if you just look at the way we start, you know, look at the you know, not the, you know, the family around the world, but the American family. Look where we were. You know, if you can never surrender to anything, how can you, you know, if you can't surrender anything, if you can't surrender your life to a higher power, I don't even care if you're a Christian or whatever, how are you ever going to make it anywhere? So if I'm the most powerful thing in my world, you know, what is that really doing as a basis for my family, for their life, for them to do good? And it's not about, you know, it's not just about religion, but it's about life, you know. So you know, how is it missing? You know, and I don't want to talk too much trash about mega churches. I have attended churches, and a little bit about me. I mean, look, I started going to jail, juvenile detention facilities, and everything when I was 12 years old. By the time I was, and I hope y'all don't mind me saying this, but by the time I was 19, I went to jail 23 times. You know, I sat on trial for a murder case. You know, praise God, you know, I wasn't convicted, and it wasn't me. But and then they finally locked me up, and I went to the, you know, Texas Department of Corrections. And I'm telling you, man, I got out of there, and I just never wanted to do that again. You know, and I'm going on 22 years, and I ain't had but a speeding ticket. But you really got to want it, man. You really got to want it in this world. You really got to want to do right. And I'm telling you, you have to surrender yourself to something. You know, maybe there's Muslims on the show. Maybe there's, you know, Catholics or Christians or whatever you are. But those that have a surrender to God, it's up to them. It's not about the church you go to. You know, you go to church on Sunday and then go to the strip club next Thursday. You know, and I'm not gonna judge you. Hell, I've been to plenty of strip clubs, and I'm no saint at all. But you know, how's
Josh Sims over there?
You know, how's religion missing? I don't even think the religion's missing. I think it's just a power of evil in this world. And that's the truth. You know.
What do you think, Adrian?
Yeah, I think we touched on this with Baptiste. And I specifically talked about creating a foundation. And I grew up Catholic, and we taught our kids the Catholic faith, right? And I think that's where it starts. It starts with the parents.
Foundation.
It's a foundation, and whether they continue to go that route, and my kids fortunately did, and I think that's where it starts. Whether they stray out of it as they become adults, you know, you can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
But you can at least have those conversations with them, kind of bring them back and let them understand, like, look, this is how I grew up. This is how you should grow up. This is just being a good overall person.
Yeah. Where do you think? Because, I mean, you ultimately, at the beginning, you sent us to Catholic school.
Yeah, and I think that was, I probably followed what my mom, you know, she went to Catholic school, got the hand smacked by the nuns, the whole thing. I was originally enrolled in a Catholic school in kindergarten, and I'll never forget, I don't remember kindergarten. I don't remember most of everything through 5th grade.
No.
But what I do remember is in kindergarten, I was pulled out by the nuns, taken to the office. My mom was told to come get me, and they threw me out of the school because my mom was unwed mother. That was 1966.
Yeah.
So, you know, she was 21 years old. She had me when she was 16, just turned 17. And so that was frowned upon by the church. So for me, trying to wrap my arms around this forgiveness thing, I'm like, where's the whole forgiveness thing at?
Yeah, I agree.
And so I started to question motive. You know, I think in the end, I didn't know what it was at the beginning, but why do you sell this ultimate forgiveness? As long as you go in and tell somebody how you sinned, they're going to go, you're all good, and you're out. But then my mom does something. Now, she was married, but she was divorced.
Yeah.
But the church frowned on that. So I went to public school, and my mom, my grandmother went to church twice a week. You know, she was Catholic, the whole thing. But at that point, religion was never forced on us.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a matter of how I believe and how I deal with it in my own head.
Your
I don't need a
relationship.
church to tell me what to do. And so I think there are people that maybe follow the church more than they follow the religion.
Yes,
Exactly right.
that's
So
exactly where
maybe
I'm
I'm
at.
glad that I never got into that
Man.
whirlpool.
Yeah.
It's.
telling
I think there is a tendency,
You
and
hit the
that's
nail on the head right there.
that's where it's at. It's like over making your relationship with God too complex.
Oh, yeah.
It's very simple,
It
right?
is.
You know, it's a very simple concept, but to have, because you know, I couldn't have certain people be the godparents of my youngest because they weren't married in the church.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Just if that's who we believe could do it, then they should be able to step up and
Oh,
do
yeah.
it. I think overcomplicating and acting because you're the gatekeeper with a little bit of it. Same thing with business, right? Keep it simple. If you can't put your business on one piece of paper, it's too complex. Right? Just
you
put
know,
it
to
down.
me, you know, I think in business, when things go right or wrong, you have a tendency to follow the money. I see these mega churches, and I see how much money these guys have, the amount of real estate they have, and I'm thinking there's a different motive here other than making sure we have a bunch of people that are honest believers. We have a revenue source here, and I've met some pastors that I wouldn't trust them to hold a $5 bill while I went out to the lobby and back.
Well, we did trust them
Yeah.
until we didn't.
Until we didn't.
Right.
Until they proved
point.
that they weren't trustworthy.
Yeah, but they were the purveyors of the Word of God, and I think that's important for us to understand. Is your relationship is your relationship. That's really
That's
kind
it.
of my question to that is hopping into a little bit of a difficult conversation, but
You know, and I tell people, and I've been to a lot of churches all across the world, and I tell people, I go to church. I go to church to hear a word through a man, and I have to remember that man is faulted just like I am.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, so I don't have to agree with everything. I don't have to agree with the way he portrays it. I'm there because I want to hear something that hopefully is coming from God that's going to make my day, my week, my life better. My job as a father depends on it. You know, my job as a lifter, as a businessman, it all depends on it. And things seem to go better when I do that. I don't go there to judge people. I don't go there to judge the church. I go there so I can get that word. I shut up, I get my word, and I go home. And then I do my best to be the best I can. And I mess up every day. And I tell you, just like you said, your relationship is your relationship. You know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that because he chose, you know, murderers. Look at the people that follow him. He has to follow them, you know, and they were following him. These weren't, you know, people that were preaching the gospel. These were average dudes just like me, that convicted of murder. You know, these people that, you know, we're on a podcast, it's, you know, talking trash, you know, and you know, those are the true people. Those are the true people that I think that are going to do the best, not only, you know, portraying what it is to those in need, but also portraying it to their kids. And I try to always keep that first place for my kids because that's really important that they understand, hey, look, you ain't got to be perfect. You know, you just ask for forgiveness when you mess up. And that's all it is too. It's your relationship, and I tell them that.
yeah, AJ came in strong. It's about a relationship, not a membership.
Yep.
Agreed.
Great. One thing you've mentioned the word being a good father multiple times. We're all fathers. I personally don't think that there's a more important job on the planet than being a great father and making sure that you raise good kids, great men and great women, and continue to grow through honor and integrity and character, generation after generation after generation.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the things that? How many kids do you have?
I have two
kids.
10 and 9.
10 and 9. So, what are some of the things which is that age where you got to be in it? You got to be in their ass all the time, making sure that they're not falling for any of this other.
Oh yeah.
So how much I pounded into the boys, be leaders, not followers.
Yep.
And letting them realize how it is. And I got a chance to see firsthand when my 6-year-old granddaughter, his oldest daughter, came out for this little
Christmas
play that they did, and as she walks out, she comes out and is going, "You stand here, you stand here, you stand here," and I'm going, "That's a leader."
Yep.
So
That's how we lead them.
That was so. What are some of the things that you're doing now as your kids are knocking on the teenage door?
And those of you who are watching, chime in on this, please.
Oh yeah, I'm reading the comments here. Man, I tell you what, what are some of the things I'm doing as a father to influence my kids and what life's got to add? I had a real rough upbringing, in and out of, I don't know, I think I lived in something like 15 different homes by the time I was, I don't know, 13 or 14, or maybe, I was older than that, 16 or so.
Did you have a dad in your life?
I did. I had a wonderful man in my life. He wasn't my biological father. He was my father, and God rest his soul. He died right when I was 21, and miss him every day, but thank God, because without him, I wouldn't be the father I am. And thank God for all the people that let me in those houses and let me stay at the places that I stayed and raised me. I wasn't raised just by my parents. But man, I used to think, why has all this happened to me? But I remember where I was at as a kid, and if things would have gone that way, I would never be the father I am today. But I will tell you this, to answer your question, I collected the greatest, the best data and the best experiences from the best people that influenced me, and I use that every day. And every day I get on my knees, I ask God to help me to be the best dad I can, help me to handle it, and every day I make a mistake. Every day I make a mistake.
Yep.
And the only thing that I can do for my kids is the best I can do. But the most importantly is to show them positivity, and do your best to show, be tough with them. You got to be tough with them. Or they're gonna run you over, and they're gonna get run over by society. But as far as the kids, man, you got to teach them to say positive things. I went through a horrible divorce years ago, horrible divorce. Luckily, me and my ex-wife are great friends now, and we do an excellent job of raising our kids. But one thing that I didn't do was I listened. One thing I did do was I listened, and I never said anything bad to my children about their mom.
Yep.
No matter what she did to me, no matter what happened between us during the divorce, during our marriage, your children look at that. If you're saying something bad about the other parent, they don't see that. You know what they see? They see half of me is ugly.
Yep.
Half of me is a bitch. Half of me is the asshole. Half of me is the cheater. Half of me is a liar. And so, all through that, I had to bit my tongue so damn hard most of the time. But, I say, man, Evelyn, you look beautiful today. I'm ready to wring her damn neck, And the kids here, I said, don't Mom look beautiful today? And you know what? My daughter thinks she's so beautiful, And boy, son, you sure are strong today, just like your daddy. You sure are smart today. My daughter's got dyslexia. I got dyscalculia. When they told me my daughter had dyslexia in school, I cried. Because I remember what I went through. I dropped out of school in the 9th grade. I went back to college many years later, had a 4.0. Praise God, I'm very successful. But I sat there and I was like, God, why you let this happen to my daughter? And the teachers told me, son, we got a whole curriculum for her. And you know what I told her every day? Because she would cry. And I knew it. I knew she was having trouble. I knew she was like me, and it's genetic, it's passed on. And I said, baby, that's all right. Just keep doing what they tell you, and you're going to read better than anybody in the class. A year later, she sat there and gave a speech at the play, and it was the best speech in the whole play. And she's one of the best readers in her class right now, but every day I told her, you know what, you're gonna be the best reader in class. You know what? And you can't even tell she's got it. You can't even tell she's got it when she writes.
Yeah.
Baptiste sit there, watch us doing homework. It makes me so happy, but you have to speak positivity over them.
Yep.
And I think that's what's most important. You have to tell them they're beautiful. You know, you have to tell them they're smart. You have to tell them you're going to be successful. What do you want? I've been asking my kids since they could walk, since they could talk, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, and then fuel that. You know, my daughter wants to be a veterinarian, and I started taking her to a veterinarian shop, letting her. I take dogs just so she can spend time with the vet. You know, that's what you want to do. I'm going to do everything I can fuel that fire. So that's my advice.
That's a good father. We got Josh Sims trying to teach my 2 girls to make sure you say hi and make friends with people who are different from you.
Yeah.
Turn out to be the best relationship. Junior coming in. Remember that inspired people inspire people, and hurt people hurt people.
Oh,
right?
That's true.
100% for sure.
It's no, I mean that's
I like that.
My
Impressive
biggest,
stuff.
I like that, Junior. Inspire people.
My biggest fear was I've never done drugs, but I also know I have an addictive personality. So had I done them, I probably would have got me.
Oh yeah.
So I stayed away from it. But from 5 or 6 years old, I just scared the shit out of these guys.
Oh yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
What did I tell you guys?
The drugs better kill us because you will if they don't.
Oh yeah.
And it was and that was just one thing that I had to I was scared to death of, so I had to make them scared to death of.
Yeah. That's one of my biggest fears.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest fears is drugs.
It's interesting because I just had this conversation when I was 2 weeks ago. I'm sitting in my office. The kids aren't at I've got 3 little ones. My wife, my kids are out of the house. And instead of sitting there watching TV or instead of doing something, I just went to my desk and sat down and started working. Mm-hmm. And I called my dad. I said, remember that thing you were saying about addictive personality? I think maybe I got that. I think maybe we share this addiction to work. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's a good thing, but it's definitely, here I am. I have an hour to do nothing, but I'm going to sit and fill it with work. And it's this, I think, how you channel what it is you're addicted to. And hopefully the way I felt was I felt sad. I 100% understood. I 100% got it because I do the exact same thing. But I was sad that he didn't take the hour off. And that was the thing that bothered me was you got to shut it off. You talk about rest. I'll shut it off, but I'm young. Right? This is the time. It's like
I'm young too, and so I still feel like that too. At 61, I feel like I got to work 12 hours a day. I don't know why, but I feel like I have to, and it's okay. But I know it's not okay.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, if you don't allocate time for yourself and for your family.
I need to figure that out. But there's also pride in it. You know, there's pride in setting an example, you know, and I think, Bo, you could probably relate to this. How are you going to act when nobody's watching you? When no one's at home, are you going to sit on your fucking ass or are you going to go to work? And to me, there's that drive that I push. It's like, nobody's watching. I could do nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do nothing.
Yeah.
Last night, take Alessia, go pick up a bunch of PVC. We built an entire entranceway that's got all these lights going up to the house, and Ali came out about midnight and she's like, are you gonna be done yet? It'll be done when it's done. You don't need to do this. No, this is what good dads do.
Yeah.
They create experiences. And I think that you have to look back, and I think you look back at those moments of your life where there was one catch that I could have grabbed. If I would have pushed a little harder, I could have grabbed that catch, and who knows what that would have turned into. I'm not going to have that in my life. I'm not going to fill those extra moments with nothing. If I could use that hour, that even if 30 minutes of it is productive, I could have done 30 minutes more productive work for the people here, for our family, for what's on the horizon. And I think you may feel sad, but you should feel proud because you've instilled in my subconscious, don't give up.
Oh, yeah.
Don't give up. Just push. Push.
You're going to fall down for sure.
Go. Fall down. So that way, when you do fall down, you've built up your foundation high enough that all you got to do is just kind of get up. You don't got to dig yourself out of a hole. You know?
I'll tell you though, the best thing you can do for your kids is fall down and let them see it.
Well, I tell you,
Because they think you don't make mistakes.
Yep.
And if they can see how you adapt and how you correct yourself and how there's no failure, there's just lessons. When you get up, you're setting such a huge example for somebody that idolizes you.
I tell you, there's a quote I love to say. I said on another podcast, I said, you're gonna fall down, and you're gonna fall down. Make sure you land on your back, because if you can see up, you can get up, and that's the damn truth.
Yep.
And that's something good to live by right there.
Yeah.
It's something you mentioned a little while ago. Was something that I and I've always admired this quote, and it was said by Les Brown. It said, "Judge a man not by what he does, but by that which he doesn't have to do. And to judge the true quality of a man is by what he does when nobody is looking." Mm-hmm. There are those who have little and give it all. They are the true believers in life. And I tell you what, man, if that doesn't hit you in the soul as a committed man to your family or to whatever your goal in life is, I don't know what does. Mm-hmm. So, but you're doing the right thing for sure. Every minute counts.
Tell me it's not frustrating to go to a restaurant and see somebody just give their kid headphones and an iPad, and then they eat, and the kid does whatever
That's
they want to do.
happening in my family now,
Yeah,
and it irks me to even see that. Kathleen and I, afterwards, were like, he was not part of the conversation. He was not there with us, experiencing the conversation, and just, it hurts me, but I'm not going to tell them how to
raise their kids.
Because my parents are sitting there who raised me. We didn't have that technology back then.
Yeah,
but they use it as a crutch.
It's a pacifier. It's a digital pacifier.
Ironically, if you think about it, going back in the day, I would always want to go to Big Fred's and Sortino's and these places that had video games. So as soon as we got done eating our pizza, I'd be like, "Can we have some quarters?" So it's probably the same net effect as handing a kid an iPad. It's just we weren't sitting at the table; we were over doing our thing.
After look at it. After Alessia's play, we go to the restaurant, and there are all these kids in there. Our kids are loud as shit, and they're running around and they're yelling at each other and stuff. And it's far less comfortable because the kids are there, but they're at least connected with the moment. Tell me it wasn't just a shit fest.
Oh yeah.
Kids running everywhere, and I mean, not being disrespectful to the people around us, but they're kids. Yeah. They're 3 to 6 years old, and so they're being that. But I took solace in the fact that we were at least connected to say, go sit down, go do that, because I could look in the booth, and there was a kid that wasn't running around, but he also wasn't talking with his mom. He also wasn't eating his food. He also wasn't. It's difficult.
iPad and headphones. I looked over, and the mom was talking to the kid, and the kid had full headphones on.
Oh, yeah.
And then she just went.
Yeah.
She was just frustrated.
Oh, my daughter's got a pair of ear pods. I know all about that.
Yeah,
but there's a time and a place, right?
There is a time and a place for sure.
You're exactly right.
It's
you can't
not during the dinner. Yeah. Shit, no.
But it's a balance.
No.
Yeah.
Can y'all believe how much it's changed, though?
Yeah.
I mean, remember when we were kids? We didn't have no iPad.
No.
We had, you remember rotary phones?
Oh, yeah.
Go outside and play with a stick.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, when did you come home in the summer?
Mm-hmm. I tell you what.
When the light turned on?
When the street lights come on.
Summarize all that.
Or you hear the whistle.
But we were just talking about the other night. How we would go out when in fact, AJ and I were talking about this. When the parents were home and the adults were in the house, you had to get out.
Get your booty out of there.
So when you went outside, you had to find something. And it usually was a stick and a rock, and it was something. Let's play baseball. That turns into football. That turns into something else. But we were always finding something to do.
A stick in a fucking can.
You don't even see kids out like that anymore.
No.
You don't even see kids like that.
Do you remember the I don't know what time it would come on, but it was you're watching a TV show and then it come on. So
midnight.
Do you know where your kids are at?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, then
you would always have the Indian head with the siren at the end. We're out of content. We got nothing else. Yeah. That's usually when you'd wake up and oh shit, it's time to go to bed.
Yeah.
So we got a question coming in.
Oh yeah.
This is for Bull.
Yes sir.
Tell us about what happened in Barcelona at the cathedral before your meet.
How'd you know about that? Yeah, all right. So actually, to tell you the truth, that was an awesome experience. I chaperone my buddy Baptiste when he's been coming here. I don't know how many years now, and I decided to go over there at an invitation WRPF Spain. Flew into Paris, went to Paris, and we had just a wonderful trip all the way down to Barcelona over a couple days. End up in Barcelona, and my buddy Baptiste want to take me to Church of the Holy Cross, which is Catedral de Barcelona. And I mean, we don't have stuff like this in Texas. We don't even have stuff like this in America. So everything I saw was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And any of my folks in France listening, man, y'all so blessed over there to have the history and the things y'all do. Our history's nowhere near as long, but to walk up and see this church, it was just it was very emotional. It was very emotional. He had just told me a story about Godfrey of Bouillon, and took me in the cathedral, and it was beautiful, but even more so, we get to the cross, the sanctuary, and he says, "Hey man, I brought you here because I want to say a prayer for you."
Yeah, dude.
And he showed me how to get down and pray, and even though my grandparents were Catholic, I don't have much knowledge about it. And so I did what he said, and afterwards he tells me, he says, "You see that cross right there?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "Man, inside that cross, the actual piece of the cross that Jesus was crucified on." And I remember just feeling this feeling over my body.
That's incredible.
And I said, I'm gonna win today. I'm gonna win today. That was 30, 40 minutes for the competition.
That's incredible.
And so he's taking me out to the side of the sanctuary, and there's a little area where they have different, I want to say exhibits, but that's not what it's called. I don't know the true terminology, but just and there's this music blasting through the exit door, and I kind of looked and I laughed. And Baptiste, he's a very strong man of his faith. He makes a lot of jokes and stuff, but he'll pray with you in a heartbeat. And he's probably one of the most knowledgeable historians I've ever had the ability to spend time with. And he looked over, and I'm not aware of, the economics and the stuff that they're battling over there, but they have a lot of stuff between the Arabs that are harassing the Catholics, and there's a lot of static there. And I just looked over and I kind of laughed, and he goes, "This is wrong." And I look, I was like, shit. I was like, all right. And so we walk out there, and this guy's sitting there, and they're blasting the speaker of this Arab music or whatever it was into the church. And the whole idea behind it was, I didn't realize, but they were persecuting the Catholics coming out of there. They were doing that to offend people.
Yeah.
And it hit me. I was like, oh my God, And he told me about this stuff, but it's America. We don't see that here. And we walk out, and Baptiste simply walk up to the guy and says, "Hey, this is wrong. You need to move." And it didn't last long, and
And he moved.
Mind if I tell him? But yeah. So dude put his hands on Baptiste. Baptiste pick up this big speaker and popped him over the head with it, and then shit was flying, people were flying, and it went on for a few minutes, and the police came, and Baptiste like, "We going to jail." I was like, "We ain't going to jail. I got a meet to go to." I was like, "You want me to run?" "No, don't run." And he says, "Nah." And so luckily, I spoke a little Spanish, and it was really interesting because the police were, believe it or not, giving us more shit than the guys that were sitting there persecuting the Catholics coming out of a church. Always. I'm talking people went there to pray.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm used to a free country, we accept everybody here, and I'm so grateful for America after going through what I went through, but luckily I told them, I said it loud enough in Spanish to where the other guys could hear me, and I said, what if we were to go to the mosque and do this? I said, it's not right, and he knows it's not right, And I said, what if we were to do that? I said, but they ain't disrespecting the mosque like that here. And it was a few minutes later, he said, all right. He goes, you're free to go. And Baptiste like, walk, let's go. So we walk off, and
we're not walking, we're running.
And so here they come running up behind us. About a quarter mile later, we're on the way to park because we got to get to the meet. And so I turn around. He's like, be ready, they're gonna stab us. And I was like, ain't stabbing me. And the dude run up and he said, hey man, I just wanted to tell you I'm sorry. And I don't know if it's because we said that about, hey, what if this happened at the mosque or not, but
Right.
But man, yeah, that was
They
that was
needed a little dose of reality. You needed to remind them.
Yeah.
That the door swings both
Baptiste
ways, and you
remind him
didn't.
when a speaker over his head. but yeah, no, it was it was funny. It was a good time and all that. But honestly, when you look at it, it really made me appreciate the freedoms we have here, and not just the freedoms for Catholics and Christians, but Muslims and everybody. Because that's. Our forefathers, there's a lot of problems with this country, but the democracy we have here is such a blessing. People can come here and we can worship in our own religions and our own churches, and I hope that it stays that way, because looking at Europe and some of the stuff that's going on there, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's absolutely sad. So freedom of religion, praise God for that.
Well, in true terms of Christmas and Christ's birthday, you've got Ron Hancock up here, went into his locker, and grabbed this cigar for you. It's a very limited edition cigar from Principal
thank you so
Cigars.
much.
It's called the Bauble.
Awesome.
Only
Thank you
released
so
during
much.
Christmas. It's that good-looking fella up there who gifted this over to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, God is good. People are good.
Really appreciate that.
That thing is delicious. Delicious.
I
Enjoy.
love you.
So along the same lines, I've heard the story, but
Yeah.
when at the same trip, I think Baptiste took you to the beach on Normandy,
Oh yeah.
and
Y'all
yeah,
trying
tell
to
us that
make me
story.
cry or what?
No, man.
Y'all
it's
trying to
just-
see a 280-pound man world record deadlifter cry? You about to see it? Go ahead. Yeah, man. So, Baptiste is real.
Cocksucker.
Real
Oh man,
asshole.
I'll tell you what. He stayed at my house a little bit here and there, and pretty interesting. Because I'll tell you this, and then I'll get to that. It's really interesting. I got 2 kids, and when the kids are at their moms, I wake up, and he's quite the artist. So I have a whiteboard where I keep all of my training schedule and everything. I have a few whiteboards around the house, and almost every morning, I mean, it's some of the most beautiful stuff I ever seen. But dude, he can draw the most beautiful dick you have ever seen daily. And I just got used to every morning when I wake up to make my coffee, a big, hairy, veiny dick being on the whiteboard. I'd erase it.
You're lucky you didn't have one of Sharpie on your face.
But I'll tell you that to tell you about Normandy, because he's a good dude and he's one of my best friends. I'm very grateful that you're here. And I'm very grateful he's in my life, because he asked me what I want to do when I got to Europe. And when I get to France, I was like, I really don't know. I want to see some castles and stuff like that. But I thought back, because I dedicated that meet to my dad. And I remember my dad saying there's 2 things he wanted to do. He wanted to fly a plane, and he wanted to go to Normandy Beach. And he could never do it. He was working himself to death. And that's exactly what he did. And I'm grateful for him, because he took care of me, and he was my stability. But we got to the airport, and I was like, I figured we're going to his house, I've been on a 12-hour flight. He's like, let's go. I got you a bunch of, energy bars and carb bars and Gatorades, and we getting in the car. It's like, where are we going? He going, we're going. I was like, okay. So we loaded up, and I didn't know where we was going. And then I start seeing the signs, and it's Normandy Beach, and there's, we're going to Normandy Beach. I figured that out. He goes, yeah. And, he's giving me the full history, the whole time we're going, and I'm pretty knowledgeable on Normandy Beach. But what was really amazing was we get there, and I didn't have any idea, and it wasn't just about Dad and wanting to go there, but it was about the history. And I walk up, and you're walking down the sidewalk, you go through a memorial, you're walking through the sidewalk, and to the right is a beach, a beautiful beach, and you can just almost see it. Everybody's seen the movies, but you can almost see, all these people coming, to the death,
Yeah.
Those bombs missed the beach, hit the backside. That was part of the reason that everybody was slaughtered, but they just kept coming. They finally took the beach, but you're walking up there and you can almost feel it, But so we take a left and we go through this big entryway, beautiful entryway, and I had no idea. I turn right, there's a reflection pond, and just past the reflection pond, it's 2,000 crosses, right? 2,000 crosses, 10,000 crosses. I'm sorry, 10,000, not 2,000. And you really grasp how many lives were taken there. But even more importantly, I look up, and to the left is an American flag, and to the right is a French flag, and it hit me. And we're sitting there, and he said, he goes, I think this is what your dad wanted you to see.
Yeah.
And he sang a hymn, which is pretty similar. It's a Hallelujah hymn. And then we prayed together. But I found it pretty amazing because I was sitting there, I was like, I can feel my dad with me.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I've been, to Europe. And I was sitting there, I was like, what's the chance that you, being a Frenchman, and your family was in Paris, taking Paris back, and my family was storming this beach. What's the chance that both of us get to sit here,
Enjoy it.
in peace, and pray?
Yeah.
So that's the sacrifice these people had. And that was honestly, that was the experience. But also, if you watch the video, there was a video of the meet. That's it. That's how he was getting my head right before I pulled that weight. He's like, he's screaming, you remember them goddamn, you think they died for this ability for you to come here to Europe and do this? He goes, this wouldn't be, he's like, you proved to him what you come here for, prove to your dad. And I did. And I used that. And I was really grateful. Hell of a motivator just to go there, but even more so to be able to understand what dad wanted me to see.
Yeah.
I was really happy to see it.
Good.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
Thank you for asking about that.
Of course.
Baptiste is a stellar human being.
Except for the dick pictures he draws. That's pretty weird.
I mean, no one's perfect, but it sounds like maybe these little drawings were perfect.
I'll post them in my story tomorrow. Y'all get on my Instagram. I got a few pictures of them. They're beautiful.
They'll probably get
They're
thrown
beautiful.
off.
Yeah.
I gotta see those.
Yeah, there are moments of just true pride that you feel that pride is. I think give me a drug, right?
Oh yeah.
You feel that proud to be an American. That we have a beautiful place here.
Yeah, I can imagine being there on the beach and just seeing that and the two flags and 10,000 crosses. I couldn't even imagine seeing that. Not at all.
I didn't even make it off the boat.
Yep.
Didn't even make it off the boat.
I think in some sort of, I don't know if they did it once or if they've done it multiple times, but they've taken actually, and in the beach they've etched out human shapes laid in the beach so you can see physically how many people there were that gave their life that day and that afternoon, and really within a couple of hours, right? And it's we owe our world to them, right?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And I think that's we talked about kids. I think that's one of the most important things that we can teach our kids. Over the last however many years, I don't care what your stance is on American politics and all this stuff, but I'll tell you this, if we forget about all of the history that we have and you want to delete it, that's fine. There's things that are uncomfortable. How I had family that was in the Holocaust, and not only that, but I have family on both sides of the spectrum, and if you want to forget about it, fine. But I will tell you this, if you don't remember the history, there's a good damn chance it's going to repeat itself. Might not be in the same form or fashion, but it's gonna.
Yep.
And I think it's important that we encourage our youth to learn it and understand it and experience it, because if not, it could happen again. But also, no matter what we're doing here in the States, there's people that died for us to have these opinions. If you don't have respect for that, I don't know what to tell you.
We had Andrew and I had a similar experience. We went to DC, and we came around the corner. We saw the monument at Arlington National.
Oh yeah,
where they're raising the flag and all that stuff. And so we went over to it. We're getting our we're taking pictures in front of it and everything. While he's looking at this thing, I look off to the right, or I looked off to the left, and you see all of the crosses, and I'm like, look at that. And he turned, and we were just silent. So then we went over and we hopped over this fence we weren't supposed to hop over, and then we went out and walked around there. There are crosses as far as you can see. I mean, I don't know how many are there, but there is not a part of the land that doesn't have a cross on it.
Yeah.
And it's as far as you could see. It It was incredible. Then you're going around, you're seeing guys from Nebraska, and you're seeing all these different names and stuff. It was just incredible.
I'll tell you this. This is something real cool, and I wanted to share this. But I do a lot of emergency response, and I was when the tornado hit Granbury, I was there. I was digging for bodies with heavy equipment. When the town of West blew up, I was there. And that's part of, I believe that's the reason God's kept me here, to try to give back. And it's not just charity, it's to actually go. Hurricane Harvey, I was down there. I was helping command 22 boats, Precinct 5. A lot of you that follow me and watching now remember that. But something interesting, it's like media, news, everybody, if you look at it, it seems almost like they're trying to separate us every way they can.
Yeah.
But I've done a lot of this emergency response, and I've been there. And I'll tell you what, when you show up, you realize government ain't there. You know who's out there rescuing people in those floodwaters? It was the people. And it didn't matter their color, it didn't matter their religion, nothing.
That was all corners too.
From everywhere, from Louisiana, I had people come all the way from Chicago that were there. They brought food, they brought water, they brought boats, and that was long before anybody ever showed up. Just to get in with a boat.
Yeah,
you had to go past
the whole interstate
barricades.
was just full of bass boats.
Oh yeah, and that's America, man. That's America right there.
Yeah.
That's America showing up. And if you believe the hype that's on the news and all that is complete bullshit. Is it out there? Yeah, but it's all about the way you live your life. And I'm telling you, man, it didn't matter if you were floating. We had people that were floating down the damn river that we were pulling out of the river that were barely staying afloat. We had houses we were going up to second stories. You see videos on my Instagram, and nobody cared. We just wanted to help, and it's grateful to be a part of this country because of that reason. When you allow the social media and news to control your life, you're going to get real negative real quick. There's a lot of good going on in this country.
Yes,
what is it to put a bow in this very positive conversation? What is a lesson that the people who are listening should take away? What is it something that we should all institute into our lives to make this world a better place? What do you guys think?
I think you just got to help others.
Oh yeah.
There's no matter how bad you think you got it, somebody's got it a lot worse. And just help wherever you can. And just be willing to help. One of my best friends was Dallas Fire for 33 years, rode in the ambulance for 15 years. And I always told him, you dealt every single day, you were dealing with somebody while they were having their worst day ever. No one's ever happy to see a fireman because their house is on fire, or their car's on fire, or something's happened terrible to their kids or to a family member. And it takes a different type of person to do that, but you just got to be willing to, like you did. I mean, when shit hit the fan, you ran towards the fire, and that's very admirable, And you don't want those opportunities, but just to know that you're willing to do it if it does happen.
Oh yeah,
it's powerful.
Yeah. Along the same lines, I just had a conversation with Aaron Klaus. We know his profession, right? His second profession. I asked him how's work. Well, I changed a few. What do you call the
purifiers, filters?
No, the
light bulbs,
fire alarms.
The fire alarms. Yeah, he's in Arlington and Prosper. In Prosper, like all the calls he gets, last call he got 2 a.m. to change the batteries in their fire alarm. But it's part of the job. But when he goes to Arlington, he's saving lives. He's doing everything that he needs to do as a EMT. But
and those guys see things that most people aren't equipped to see.
No, not at all. 2 a.m.
Oh man.
Yep. Adrian, what's a lesson that people who are watching need to hear?
I'll go back to the foundation. Just go back to the foundation of, raising your kids and create that foundation, whatever the path they take when they become adults. Just feel solace in yourself that you set that foundation, and what they do in life, hopefully that helps.
Bull, where are you at?
Man, everything in life's about consistency and commitment. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a power lifter or you're a, golfer, or if you're a businessman, if you're a dad, if you're a stay-at-home mom. You got to keep faith, you got to stay positive, and you got to be consistent. People ask how I continue to succeed in powerlifting at 42 years old. I held number one spot as a submaster. I hold number one spot as a master. Usually by the end of the year, each year, I'm a number one raw deadlifter in whatever class and age I'm at. But it's real simple. You got to get up every day and give it your best, And I tell you what, even if you're not number one at whatever you do today, you're going to continue to progress, and progression leads to success. And that's about it, man. Just stay positive, because it's coming your way. You don't do it, it's never going to happen. You just got to put that foot in front of you every morning and continue working, and you will succeed. You'll get better, and that's how it works.
You're definitely challenged on a daily basis to have the opportunity to quit or go.
Oh yeah.
And that's the one thing where I'm blessed with my three sons. They don't understand the word quit.
Yep.
And it's always go.
Yep.
What about you?
Identify your purpose and surround yourself with people who will challenge you in a positive way, challenge you to shake the apples off the tree so you can figure out which ones are worth chasing.
Yeah.
If you're not with people who are going to challenge you, then get new people.
Yeah.
We are so blessed in our this community that we've created that, oh, by the way, you can smoke a cigar here. But there's this group of people here on the show and here in this community that come up on a regular basis that are so positively wired.
Oh yeah.
And it's just, there is no woe is me here.
Yeah.
And man, it just makes it so nice to want to just come up and hang out with these guys, because it's just the positivity that comes out of that is priceless.
Yeah.
I mean, it's we say passion over profit, but our passion, it was to commit to a community, but the community is what comes in and what stays, and the people that stay, that fit, it's inspiring in and of itself.
Absolutely.
I want to say just real quick before we finish the show is I appreciate this cigar, because without this, I don't think any of us would be sitting here. Baptiste wouldn't be here. Josh wouldn't be here. This whole lounge obviously wouldn't be here.
Yep.
But because of this is why we're doing it.
The power of this leaf is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, we call it the great equalizer is what we call it.
Yep.
I don't care where you're from, what your job is, what you do, but this, we're all equal.
That's right.
And we're here for a reason.
That's right.
Bull, thank you so much for joining
you.
us this evening. I mean, it was incredible to get to know you.
Yeah.
And you always have a home here. Welcome to the
Appreciate
family.
it. And I'll add, if y'all don't mind, for the Olympia, this charity, charitable contribution, charitable promotion I was doing for a young man. He's 8 years old right now. His name's Leighton Divin from Louisiana. He has a condition called osteogenesis imperfecta, and for Christmas, I met him years ago before I became a pro at a charity meet I did out there in East Texas, and he was just amazing. Osteogenesis imperfecta is a disease that affects the bones. If you saw the movie Mr. Glass, it's almost the same. And by the time he was, I think, 5, he had over 250 breaks, femurs, rods in his femurs, his arms. But he's just the best, sweetest spirited little young man ever. He looks at me and my fellow powerlifters like we're superheroes. But he asked for Christmas if I would help him sell shirts, but not for him. He asked if I'd help him sell shirts so he could put the money towards the families that have the same disease that couldn't afford some of the stuff like the wheelchairs, the medicines that they go through, the therapies. So if you would just scroll down a little bit. I'm wearing a blue shirt in one of my posts at Mr. Bull NTX, MRBULL. There's instructions on there how to contact his father. It's $35. That includes shipping, and 100% of that money goes to the Fund for Osteogenesis Imperfecta, and all of that money goes to the families. Appreciate it. Thank you, and thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks for being
Much
here.
love. Make it happen. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls.
Yeah.
That's Cigar Talk Live. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, but you always learn something.
That's it.
Adios,
Always
suckers. We
good.
out of here.
Later, guys. Thank you.
If we don't see you before this weekend, we will see you on Saturday at the shop.
Yeah.
But if we don't, you guys have a very, very Merry Christmas. Be safe.
Merry Christmas.
I can't believe Christmas here.